That's fine.
I hit start.
That's fine. Just clap. 3.
1.
Wait.
It's 1, 2, 3, or 3, 2, 1.
Are we clapping on 1 or 3?
1, 2, 3, and then clap. Okay.
That was perfect.
No,
that was good.
it wasn't. No,
That
was it?
That was.
I clapped and then you went. Nyom.
Okay, fine.
Oh, there's a bunch of claps in there. Oops.
Okay.
This is the real clap. 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. Now we'll just use that as a thing.
Well,
there we go. See how we did that?
I'm
The
like,
only time I'll ever be quiet. Welcome in, guys. Welcome to
Welcome in, everybody, to episode 4, I think.
4.
3, 4. I know one of them was scrapped. We're gonna have to re-record.
3. This is
we
gonna be
did
3.
one with Todd, so yeah, this is gonna be 3.
Yes.
And welcome back to the TNL Talk Show. By the way, podcast name is going to be changing.
Yes.
Thought about it more. Maybe we might just stick with TNL podcast.
Or we might just have that conversation right now and just talk about it with you guys. And you guys give us your thoughts.
This is how decisions are made.
This is how wieners are made.
If you guys can think of brought to you by if you guys can think of any names for the podcast, by all means throw them down in the comments. Let us know on Twitter or anywhere else that you want to let us know. We might be changing it to that, but it's definitely not going to be TNL Talk Show forever.
Because we got a lot to talk about, not just TNL stuff. We got a lot to talk about. Yep. We talk about too much, and it's a problem sometimes.
It really is.
We just sat here for 30 minutes before the podcast talking about bullshit. And so you kind of,
we basically did a whole episode before the episode.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's
the episode before the episode. That's how you warm up,
It's exactly. You warm your tonsils.
We
can't play tonsil hockey, so we might as well just warm.
You ever see from
what movie was that?
High School Musical. No, what? No. It's High School Musical.
Not on the same page.
Yeah, definitely not the same movie.
I know what you're talking about. Oh shit. It's kind of sweaty. It's a little sweaty. You can't tell though because it looks dark.
Oh, your pits. I thought you meant the thing behind you.
Whoa!
Oh, wow. I thought you meant
it's a purple shirt though.
The bear.
I can't do anything about it.
I thought you meant the bear behind you, Chum. Like, what?
Boo! Don't you fucking disrespect a boo like that. Don't you fucking do it.
Okay, it's Abu.
Yeah, it's not a bear. It's Abu.
I thought he was the one that was sweating. I'm like, what are you doing in that room?
Bro,
that
sauna.
Poor Abu. It's finger painting day.
Chocolate covered pretzels.
Oh my god! But yes, what we have decided to kind of switch up how we do the podcast here, and that is that it's very hard to do them to follow a script because of our personalities. It's extremely hard. We're too all over the place, and it's easier for us to have like 1 or 2 talking points and then going off of that. That's good. Yeah, that's good. That's real good.
What happened?
I thought you were gonna forget to unmute. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't gonna say anything.
No. I'm just chilling.
But yeah, so we're just kind of be going off of our personalities. We feel like that's far. Oh, that's a clip. That's a clip. That's going on the Twitter. That is going on the Twitter. Freeze frame. Caught in 4K. All glizzy, no bun.
I'm fucking dying over here.
We got caught in 4K. So today,
ultra wide.
Today we are going to be talking about 2 main points, possibly a third, depending on how the time goes. And that's gonna be, we want to talk about mental health. We also want to talk about the whole Nick Mercs situation, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are aware of it, and it's very. Well, we'll talk about it in a second, but also about everything Twitch is doing wrong. Why are you laughing?
Stupid.
Why this time?
It's fucking rude. So, the way we're recording this, guys, so I'm recording on a separate audio file, but I muted, but nothing actually gets muted on the audio file that I'm actually...
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great. All you guys are gonna
So
hear.
all you hear is me just in the fucking the audio, and I'm like, wait.
God, people
that
listening to
doesn't
us are
mute
gonna be
when I
like,
hit
"What the
mute.
fuck is happening?"
Oh god, it's gonna be great. Okay, sorry. Continue.
But
I
yes,
apologize for the interruption.
no, it's all right. So yeah, mental health, the Nick Merck thing, in Twitch, and how they basically decided to end their entire platform in a matter of one day and 3 tweets. So we'll get this going with the mental health thing. I'll go first, and then I'll give Freck some time to speak. But you guys, if you guys know me at all, or know anything about me out there, you guys know that I worked in a psychiatric hospital for 7 years. Did a whole lot of jobs there. Security officer. I was a mental health specialist. I was a secretary at one point. Well, more like temporary secretary type thing. But I did a lot of jobs in that one hospital in a matter of 7 years. Did I say security guard?
Mm-hmm.
I did. Okay, yeah.
No, you said secretary.
Yeah, that too. Let me put you on a brief call. A brief hold.
Can I put you on a brief call?
Can I
Please,
put you on a
I'm
brief
sorry.
call? I know you just called me, but I'm gonna put you on another call. All right, bet.
Put you on another call. His name's Nathan. All right, he's great. He makes great chili. Okay.
Try to get his recipe because I've been trying to get it for years.
And you call me back.
And I also don't shy from my mental health issues. One thing that a lot of people who have mental health problems do is that they don't talk about them. They pretend like they're not there. And with me, that's not it. Like, no part of me is ashamed of saying that I have PTSD, that I have OCD, that I have MDD. Literally all the 3-letter, like, what are they called? Analogies? No. Acronyms. I've like most of the 3-letter acronyms when it comes to what the DSM-5. Although I don't know if the DSM-6 came out yet. But yeah.
I'll be honest with you. You might have to elaborate or put some like captions on top because it sounds like you're calling out like a new platform or like a part for a vehicle.
You don't know what
DSM OEMs like in ventriloquist of
you know what's ironic?
Effects.
I actually don't know what it stands for.
Oh, okay, so you're gonna you were gonna respond with you don't know what that is?
No, I know what it is. It's the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. DSM. This is what like psychiatrists and doctors use to diagnose patients.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know that was a thing. I mean, I know they had like a chart system, but I didn't know that's what it was called.
No, and like I forget how often, but it gets updated. I almost said upgraded.
Let me upgrade you. There's so many jokes I want to say with this, but it's this very serious topic, so I'm gonna keep from it. But it's like
it's like the iPhone.
The ADHD in me. That's like just say it, just fucking say it. There's literally a me on top of my head, like just fucking do it. Like I'm not gonna do it.
It's called Tourette's.
I'm a professional.
I like dead serious though. Like on a serious note, I genuinely think that I have a mild case of Tourette's.
I can see that
because there's times where I just need to say something. I need to say whatever it is, and it's not always like how people know Tourette's to be like because of fucking movies and all this shit, where like they just swear left and right.
Yeah.
That's not how Tourette's actually works. Tourette's is just you having no control over certain behaviors. It can be speech, it can be physical behavior, or it can be.
Wait, so they have like a Tourette's where someone just walks up to somebody like, boom, and just slaps them?
That's a form of Tourette's.
I didn't know that. Oh,
but also
cool.
people
not
who
cool, but like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
know what it sounds like, folks. No, but like that's a thing, and there's also, I do this thing, and it kind of like wasn't happening too often, but I make these noises where I go like, right?
No one heard that, by the way.
I don't know if you guys heard it or not, but I make these weird noises, and that is something that I just have to. If there's silence, I have to make the noises, and if I don't,
well, that's not Tourette's though. That's ADHD.
No, necessarily.
That's you not sitting in your being able to sit in your silence.
No, but it also stems from trauma. is basically what I'm getting at, and that
Okay,
can.
yeah, that makes sense.
So it's like a whole thing, right? But basically,
Again, we're not licensed. We're just
yes.
talking.
By the way, we are not
We're
licensed
not
at this.
licensed
That's
for
a good disclaimer.
anything.
Good disclaimer.
And just gonna throw that out there. We are just guys talking about our mental health and what's going on in our stuff and what we think that the problems are. Like I said, it's not necessarily gonna be. It's what I said. It's not gonna be ADHD. But from what I've read and what I've seen, that's what I disclosed,
Right.
and that's what I got my information from. So
No, and
again,
it's
we're
good
not
for you
licensed
to.
therapists or anything
And
like
I think
that,
it's good
but
for you, and this goes for everybody else, to say those things so that they can be corrected if that's the case. Because a lot of people think that
me.
oh, don't make me do the head tilt.
Dude, the fucking head tilt.
The fucking head. People think that they know what bipolar disorder is, right? And this is something that I've literally had to explain to my family so many times, because up until I worked at the psych hospital, my family used to make this joke saying, "Oh, like you're bipolar." They're like, "You're super happy one second, and then you're like this super angry person the next second." That's not bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder is when you either have all of the energy or none of the energy. There's no in between. You're either super manic or super depressed.
That sounds like me.
That's bipolar disorder, and a lot of people think that being bipolar means that you're happy one second and then you're angry the next one. And no, and like there's nothing you can do about bipolar disorder.
But aren't there cases that it's like that though? I feel like there's cases that are like that, right?
No, that is just a personality disorder at that point. Now you're moving on to a different mental health.
No, now you're on
disease.
Split.
Right. Essentially, yeah. You're talking about the movie Split, right?
Yeah, the movie Split, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And
if you guys don't watch that, go watch it. It's a good movie.
Great movie. But yeah, so the DSM-5 comes out every I don't know how many years, and
I'm sorry, I can't not laugh at that.
And they can I get the DSM-5? It's an L35B.
Yeah. That's exactly what I think of every time. Yo, let me get them Air Jordan DSM 3s. You feel me? Like that's what I get.
You know how they have the little microphones? They look like they're fucking special agents. Like the people at the shoe store, they're like, "Yeah, give me 1 second." They just grab their shirt and they're like, "Can I get
my radio that I have for work? The little fucking
yeah.
CSI
They're like, "Do we have any on size 9s, please?" What is he doing? He's about to, that bottle of water's about to fall. What the hell is happening? For those hearing this, you can't see it.
I'm back. All right, guys.
Oh, you actually have one. Yeah.
This is my CSI little. Oh wait, it's supposed to be my left ear. I have it staged to be in my left ear. Yeah.
There.
This is it right here. We're just like.
Yeah, and they're like, "Can I get the DSM-5?
The SDM SD card that just came out last week from Best Buy."
Oh my god.
Again, chat. Jesus Christ, I gotta stop streaming. Holy.
No. Well, I feel like you're about to say what I was about to say, so say it.
What? I was. My ear was in.
Oh.
What? Sorry.
Oh no, you were. It sounded like you were about to say something.
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay. All right. But yeah, so the DSM-5 comes out. I don't know how often, and they always add new things to them, right? The one of the big things right now is that I think they're thinking about adding pedophilia to the DSM-5.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So
it makes sense though, because it's the same.
A lot of people
it's
say
considered like a mental disease.
It is.
Your brain isn't mentally built to see things how, like, I guess we put in our hindsight the normal person would see.
The norm.
So like the norm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, because it's not, everything is nowadays, nothing's normal. But like, I guess the minimum norm of like what society is.
Right.
Is kind of what I'm getting at. I'm trying to not say anything that's going to be a little too overboard to make it worse, but it's considered your brain. It's like having depression, anxiety. Your brain is wired completely differently. Mm-hmm. It's not wired like, it's not something you can choose to be depressed. It's just a way your brain works and the way the neurons go to your brain as the dopamine hits and it doesn't hit, and like it's not wired to work a certain way. And I feel like that could work. I can understand that being in the system.
It is, yeah, and we're not gonna talk too much on this whole pedophiles thing. But
Yeah.
basically, there's more than one type of pedophilia, and and this is one of the main reasons why I like doing content creation is because I want to be able to educate people on these type of things, because this is something that a lot of people, and I'm not just talking about pedophiles specifically, like I'm not defending them by any means, but by any means, but people aren't educated on like the whole bipolar thing, right? I tell that to people and they're like, "Oh my god, I never knew that that's what bipolar disorder was." And that's where all the negative stigmas come into place. Granted, a lot of them are funny,
So
but there's
so is
still
that official though? Like that's an official like
what?
definition of like bipolar? Like
Yeah.
what you explained?
Yeah. Yeah, because bipolar disorder is a chemical imbalance in your brain. So there's like, so you take medications because one, I forget which exactly what their names are, but one's higher, and then they alternate. One, so like
Okay.
think
Okay.
of,
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
yeah, like think of two
It's the
test
same.
tubes.
It's the same concept as having anxiety and depression. One dips really fucking low, and then it puts you into that spot, and then
Yeah.
it'll randomly dip back up. It's the same
Exactly, yeah,
concept of it.
exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Makes sense.
but yeah, essentially, I have almost every three-letter acronym under the sun from the DSM-5. I don't know if the DSM-6 came out yet or not, but I recently went through a very scary. Can I get the DSM-5?
No, I see. You guys, he's got the IMB too. That's one of the newer ones that came out. He's got the I am bald.
I used to tell people, I used to like when shit got sick. I don't even remember when I used to say this. This was like years ago, but I used to be like, I have SSM. Like I went to the doctors and I found out I have SSM, and they're like, "Oh no, what is that?" I'm like, "I got that sexy man syndrome." SMS. Wait, SMS, not SSM. I'm also dyslexic.
Wait,
I'm also dyslexic.
SSM. Sexy man syndrome. What?
Full disclosure, I'm also dyslexic. Full disclosure, I'm dyslexic as fuck.
I am too.
But
Nice right now. It's not even combed. It's just kind of wavy.
look at
Sorry.
the waves.
ADHD
But it,
guys again.
it's-
Two guys
it's
with
all good.
ADHD.
literally, you're not gonna get a
In
better
my
podcast
case-
anywhere out there.
What?
Well, it would be very hard for us to, seeing as that we're literally on opposite sides of the country. But I can be there in, I don't know, how long does it take to get to Cali?
Chat, did you see that awesome TNL watch though? See that shit? See that shit? You just look stupid now.
People listening are like, what is he doing? Why isn't it? There we go.
Because it's not a hard twist. Sorry, continue.
But yeah,
I'm
so-
telling you, this is how our conversations go off the podcast.
Yeah.
Like we're
Yeah.
here, we're in it, and then we're just like, it's like the multiverse is pulling us.
We just create different timelines every time we switch to a different
Oh yeah,
conversation.
every time.
But
Bro, we fuck up that world.
oh yeah. No one's surviving. We're all dead. Humanity's fucking doomed, and you can blame me in fact. No
And
problem.
then we're just
So,
sitting there drinking
we're
pina
just,
coladas
we're
like,
just yeah, we're just sitting there like this. I'm just with my vape and everything, and people are just running and screaming past us like, "Yo, we did that! Like this was us."
chili dog in one hand, like, you're alright. I'm good. Good.
You need a refill on that drink?
Oh, no, you can't get it? Your leg's falling off. Got
I
it.
got
You're
it.
fine. You're fine. Do your thing.
But yeah, I went through a very I would go as far as saying a very scary depressive episode or depression episode. I don't know what the word is. To the point where I didn't care about anything. I didn't care about my own content. I didn't care about work. I didn't care about TNL. I didn't care about the people in my home. I didn't care about anything or anybody for a solid day or two. And that genuinely scared the absolute shit out of me. It absolutely terrified me because I've been depressed before, but never to the extent that it was like this past week or two. You know, for those listening and watching, my best friend, Flavio, you know, I've talked to him. I've talked about him to you before. And even he was like, I've never seen this. I've never seen it be this bad. Like, he's seen me go through it. But like I was like I genuinely I don't know where it all came from. I don't know what it was that what that catalyst event was that led me to go into that. Um, but I needed a break, right? And so I told the TNL guys like I am taking a break, max 2 weeks. I was hoping I only needed that, and I needed a little bit less than that. I think I was only out for like what, like a week and a half, right?
It's like a week and a half, yeah.
Yeah,
Something
like a
like
week and a half. Because during that time I started going stir crazy of like I need to do something. I can't
that.
just
Mm-hmm.
because I quit my job, right? I'm fully independent. I don't have
Disclosure: he didn't quit his job in that time frame. He quit it beforehand, so like months
good,
and
yeah.
months and months
Yeah, yeah.
before.
This
So
was almost a year ago now that I
yeah.
quit my
Oh
full-time
fuck.
job to pursue this, and I do Uber. And I literally bro the other day I literally made $882, and guess how much? Guess how long it took me?
Please don't tell me like 4 hours, because I'm gonna be pissed.
No, the fuck? What do you think? I'm sucking dick on these rides?
I mean, you never know. Now, you know what I'm saying? You
I'll
gotta-
glissy no bun. 21 hours. 21 hours. In 21 hours, I made
What
eight.
is that? What is
That's
that?
like $42 an hour,
Mm,
give or
what is it,
take.
800?
882 in 21 hours and 20 minutes.
I was doing mental math.
Oh my god. Yeah, but basically, I didn't have to go to. I didn't have to wake up early in the morning to go to work or anything like that. And
Yeah,
so
it's like one.
during that week and a half that I was out, um, I was just not doing anything. I decided to sit there in my own self pity. I threw myself in my pity parties. I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't go out to anything. I didn't go to work. I went to the movies and that's it. And even then, I wasn't fun to be around. Um, but it's important to talk about these things, especially in the gaming world, because a lot of people don't like to talk about the mental health problems here. And it's a very toxic thing to do. And Frack is smiling, and I'm wondering what he's doing right now. What's he looking up? What are you looking up? What are you trying to pre-order the DSM-6?
That's fucking rude. Okay, I already have it. So it's fine.
But yeah, so I don't shy away from talking about things like that, and I just hope that somebody out there listening, what got me through it, and this is really the point that I wanted to drive with all of this, is that damn, I just had a epiphany.
Epiphany or brain fart?
Epiphany. Well, I don't know
What's
what
the
the word
epiphany?
is actually. Well, I call
I
so
know
I
what epiphany is. What is your epiphany?
well I think this is what I know what an epiphany is. It's a moment of realization.
No, I know.
Of like,
I
oh,
was
shit.
rephrasing what I said because I said, "What's the epiphany?"
Oh, okay.
So it made it sound like I was saying, "What's a epiphany?" Okay.
Anyway.
Jesus, ADHD.
Yeah.
Continue.
I
please.
reached out to my psychiatrist and I told him like what up doc. That's literally how I started the email. I literally said what up doc. Like me and him, bro, we're tight. We're both from Guatemala.
You're fucking
Bro, he's a
5 years
homeboy
old.
from the homeland, bro.
You are 5 years old. Why did you
I'm
squint
literally
your eye and
wearing
lift
a
your lip when you said that? He said, Guatemala, eh? I'm
Bro,
from
he's
that-
a homeboy from the homeland.
Don't do that again. Don't ever fucking do that again. I'm
anyway.
smacking you next time you do that. I will send a smack in the box.
Opens the box.
See the butterfly thing?
Oh,
that
like
shoot
that
out?
must have been.
Same-
Yeah.
Why do I feel like you
just a
actually just
bunch of
flinched right
hands.
there?
I might have. I don't know.
Just like a fucking, the fucking pie connected to it. Variations.
Like the thing that you turn the wheel. Oh fuck, ADHD. Here we go. Anyway,
Continue.
I reached out to my doctor, and I said like, because he told me that there was a wait list to get into therapy, right? And I emailed him like either find me one now, or put me on the wait list now. And I got on a call today with him. I got on a call with him yesterday, and he asked me, "Did you feel hopeless or helpless?" And I didn't know how to answer that in the moment, so I said no because I think of those things as like okay, like I'm standing at the edge of the bridge ready to jump. Right, that's where my brain goes for hopelessness and helplessness. But I think it just meant that I didn't care about anything, and if that's the case, maybe I did feel those things, you know. But and so I'm hoping to find a therapist soon, But for those out there who are listening, going through anything mental health related, I know we've been kind of making a joke about it the whole time, but that's because when you have certain things happen to you in your life, you develop a very dark sense of humor. Um,
Yes.
and nothing we're
It's very
saying,
terrifying sometimes.
yeah, and nothing we're saying is meant to make fun of anything or anybody. It's just the way that we process certain things in our lives. You know,
It's a
people.
coping mechanism for us, and everyone has a different way of handling what's going on and how they're being treated in the situation. Just like when someone feels uncomfortable, sometimes that uncomfortableness will make you just start laughing, or let's say you do have ADHD, that ADHD will hit harder because you're uncomfortable and your body's just like it freaks out. So then you start to be more sporadic and more aggressive or crazy or loud or whatever the case may be. So there's a lot of ways that people handle it, and this is kind of like the way we're kind of one and the same, and it's slightly annoying,
And
but that's
scary,
kind of how
terrifying.
it's very terrifying. That's kind of how we handle it. It's just we would rather make light of the situation because we understand how important the situation is. So we know that we can make fun of it for our own self because we know how much it means to us.
It's
So it makes it easier for us to handle.
and it's not even it's almost like therapeutic, you know, because people have the things
Sure.
that they
Not for
that they
me.
they that they do, right? Like when
Yeah.
they're like, oh, go work out or go do something, go read a
Exactly. Yeah,
book,
yeah,
take
yeah.
a walk. It's the same thing. It's like he said, a coping mechanism, a way to deal with the situation. um it's fucked up, and it's flat out enraging that people see that as a negative thing, because they're
Yeah.
like, oh, how can you make fun of this when it's like, I don't know how to do it any other way. Like, I'm sorry about your feelings, I no longer give a fuck, you know, but this is just how I'm like, I don't tell you that what you're doing is wrong or it's disrespectful towards me, because that's the way that you want to deal with your shit. You deal with your shit the way you want to. I'm not here to judge you, you know. I'm not here to tell you you're doing it wrong. You do whatever you want to do. And that's why I also wanted this to be the next podcast, because we didn't have one last week because of this, because I was away.
Mm.
And it is because a lot of the things that happened throughout that week really annoyed me in the fact that I cannot express myself the way that I normally do to make myself feel better, because we're under this microscope of like, oh, we're waiting for this person to say the right thing or the wrong thing at the wrong time. Boom, you're canceled. Your career is over, and
Yeah.
that's just wrong, you know. So, but if anybody out there listening, watching is going through anything, it's gonna sound cliche, and I truly do mean this from the bottom of my heart. Hang in there. Um, it may seem like there's only one option. I promise you there isn't. And the one thing that got me through that is, like I told you the other day, of the what if, you know, like the possibility of me succeeding in life. If I were to not be able to see that through, that's just not me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see it
It's
through regardless of how easy or difficult the journey is.
yeah, yeah, that
Um,
makes sense.
so just look for that, and one thing that I, somebody very special to me said one time, emotions,
Excuse
like,
me.
do you, it wasn't fractal,
Fuck.
but they asked me, they're like, do you know why emotions are called emotions? And I was like, I don't fucking know. Nobody fucking, I don't wake up, I've never once woken up, I wonder what they're called emotions. Like, the fuck, no. um and it is because they're always in motion. So
Wow, I
just,
knew that and I didn't even know that.
I knew that and I didn't even know that. So yeah, you're never always going to be happy. You're never always going to be depressed. You're never always going to be anxious. And what gets me through those tough moments is knowing that this too shall pass. I forget in what movie that's on or whatever, but it's like, this too shall pass, and it eventually does. So that's my message to you guys, and I hope you guys see it.
Yeah, I'm with that. I agree 110% on that. I do think that I kind of want to go back to the how people handle um, their like depression or whatever they're going through at the moment. Um,
Oh, real quick, let me just cut in real quick. It was so bad. My depression has been so bad lately. I haven't played guitar in over 6 months.
Oh yeah,
There's
and before
one.
he'd be fucking irritating with it. He would be
And
like in the
I have.
fucking microphone.
There's one, two, three, four, five, six, seven guitars in this room, a keyboard, and a violin outside. And no part of me felt like doing any of it.
It's because you suck at it, but
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm not great. I'm mediocre at best. No, deadass, bro. Bro. Flavio makes this joke all the time. He's like, bro, you got all these guitars. He's like, you're mediocre at best. I'm like, I know. I'm like, who let me have money? Who let me have money?
and they're very like good guitars too. They're not like
Oh
cheap
yeah,
shit.
dude. That one was 850.
You are fucking dumb.
Ready?
That's
This
like
one?
you know what though, chat. What's that thing, chat? That's sick. I like that one. That one's
Right?
clean.
$1,200.
I'd make a backpack out of it.
The fuck did you say? Dead to
But
my face.
that's also another sign of like ADHD, the hyperfixations and things like that. Like you feel like you have to start something new constantly. And that's kind of what it is. It's like I got this new guitar, like I'm playing it, but I feel like I'm getting better. Let's get another one because we gotta work into it. Like we did good here. All right, that one's old.
We
Let's
can
get a
do
new
better
one.
here.
Yeah. So, and it's the same thing with why do you think I have so many things everywhere? Look at it's literally like it's shoes. Literally, you can see them in the corner. Hey, I've literally everything, and it's just that's where it comes. The ADHD comes in. It's the addictive personalities and things like that. It's always different for everyone. And collecting things and keeping things for myself is kind of one way I helped myself not go down a dark path. I've been down many dark paths, and it's just how people deal with it is different. And this just kind of goes back to where I wanted to bring this up is however you go through it, don't let someone tell you you're doing it wrong, but don't forget it's okay to be guided. I know it's a very thin line, and the main reason why is
That's
because
I like that.
you handle it the way that you know you can handle it. And sometimes with me that comes down to just getting really depressed and sitting in it. And then there's times where I man up, and not necessarily man up, but I man up and I take care of it and I handle it and I express myself and I just push through it. But then there's times where I need to just sit and I'll just listen to myself. I'll listen to myself be upset. I'll listen to myself be sad. I'll vocalize it to people. But the thing is that I'm not vocalizing it because I want pity. I'm vocalizing it to get it out in the world. Because that's how I overcome it. That's how I overcome my depression. That's how I overcome my anxiety. Like just for instance, this past week I was in the hospital. I was put in the hospital because I thought I was having a heart attack. And what I've kind of narrowed it down to is I had the worst case of an anxiety attack to the point where my heart stopped like beating normally and I stopped like breathing like
Motherfucker sound like
properly.
a fucking 8-speed boat engine.
Fucking idiot.
Call 911 now.
So it's just things like that will happen, but being able to handle it and understand it, because I've never had an anxiety attack like that. I've always had like different types where like I just get really like anxious and everything just gets loud. Like I've always had those ones, but this one was different for me. So it scared me. And now that I understand it, I just want people to know that these things happen and it's okay that it happens, but just make sure that you're understanding your research. If you reach out to people, reach out to a therapist or reach out to somebody that's qualified to handle it, and or just your friend. Just be like, hey, like I'm going through this right now. And it's okay to go through it. Everyone does.
Perfectly okay.
Everyone
does, just not
goes through
everybody's
everything.
vocal about it.
Yeah, and everyone goes through it a different way. Like some people may handle it better than others, and that's okay. That person's not better than you. But what it is, it's just the best thing you can do is understand it and understand what you're going through and understand that you're going to be okay. It's going to suck. You're going to go through it. It's gonna feel like the world is ending, but it's gonna be okay. I promise you, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I want to make sure you guys know that it's gonna be okay. That there's always people out there that love you more than you even think. There's people out there that care about me more than I even understood until I had a conversation with them, and it opened my eyes. And that goes for
I
a
told
lot
him
of
I
people
love him.
that
I told Fractal I love him.
I can't take him anywhere. I swear, I can't take
You
him
brought me
anywhere.
here.
He's like a little gnat that just.
Bro, I thought that word was pronounced gnat. I'm not kidding.
You're an idiot. Oh my god.
I literally told Flavio, I'm like, bro, did you listen to that new Eminem song? And I go, he goes, which one? I'm like, gnat? He's like, what? It's called gnat. He's like, you mean gnat, you fucking idiot?
Oh my god. Oh my god. It's just
Oh, I
the
was
same
like,
thing
bro.
with a spoon.
That gnat's a G because it's got a G in front of its name, bro. It's a G gnat.
It's like a knife. It's a knife and
It's the knife argument all over again.
Oh my chat, you guys want to hear? No, we're not
Chat,
gonna put that out there
yeah,
because someone's
chat.
gonna make it. We're not gonna get it. Stop!
I can't
I
do
stream a lot. I stream a lot. I can't help it. I'm sorry. I stream too much to call everyone chat. I'm in. There's a few times that I've been out in the IRL world of life, and I have literally talked to a group of people, and I was like, "All right, chat, this is what we're doing." Literally exactly how that conversation
I did
went.
not. I thought you had
And then she
moved on
goes-
from
she
the
goes,
chat
"We don't-"
thing.
She goes, "Who's Chad? We don't have a Chad." Don't worry about it. It's okay. Just this is where we're gonna be
Karen
going
with a
today.
clip where it's like, Chad, I don't see a Chad here. Can I get a DSM-5? And can you also check to see if Chad's here today, please? Thank you.
DSM-5 up here.
Oh,
This guy's
yeah.
saying that there's Chad here. I think he's on one.
We need an ASAFP. But go back to what you were saying, though. We're getting sidetracked.
What the fuck was I saying?
It's going to be okay.
Oh yes, end of the day, it's gonna be okay. And as much as you don't think someone's out there caring for you, there's definitely people out there. Look at his little trot. Oh my god, we can't take anything serious when he's trotting around like that. He's like a little pony, and he almost ate shit.
I forgot to take down my Ethernet cable. I just tripped over it.
Oh, okay. Only person in the history that wears the same colored shirt and fucking sweats at the same time.
Or it's a fashion statement, bitch.
It's fucking weird.
Respect
It's
the
like you're
drip,
trying
Karen.
to be a painter.
Respect the drip.
Respect the drip.
Oh my
Karen.
god, I do. I didn't even realize that. Holy shit, that's funny.
What, that you're wearing the same fucking
That-
color?
yeah, that it's the same color.
I'm religiously against wearing the same color shirt and the same colored pants, and that goes for jeans. I will never wear black jeans with black shirt. I will wear black cargos with a black shirt, but that pisses me off. It's the closest I'll get. Like the little
Okay.
jogger style ones. It just pisses me off. I look at myself in the mirror. I'm like, you look like a fucking idiot. But you also look kind of cool.
You're such a failure.
Yeah. See, look, everything just goes together. Look at that.
Look at this.
The color schemes go together. I also look like a fucking high school baseball coach right now. Like,
Oh my god, you do. You do. You look like the uncle who coaches Little League.
yup. So like my uncle or my cousin.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, it'll be okay. And honestly, I recommend people watch the Selena Gomez documentary. I encourage people to watch the Selena Gomez documentary that's on Apple TV. Because Selena Gomez is somebody who is an extremely successful individual. I mean,
She's gone through it. She's gone through it.
She's gone through it, and she opened up about it in a way that nobody in the industry had ever seen. Where
I think everyone's perfect there.
yeah, and that's the other thing. Don't let whatever you're seeing on your screen, on your phone, whatever it is that you're looking at, that person isn't actually that happy.
Yeah.
So don't ever feel envious of, like, if you see your friend's Instagram post.
They could be in that moment.
In that moment, yeah, no, in the moment they're the
they
happiest
could be in
people
that
alive,
moment, but like on a daily, no one's ever extremely happy, and it's just know that other people are going through the same thing you're going through, and that just treat people with respect at the end of the day.
yeah,
That's kind of what I want to get across right now. Actually, just treat people with respect, because you don't know what that person's going through, because everyone's going through something. we just don't know what they're going through. They're in their own little world, and we don't know what's going on in that world. Our world could be okay that day, and then the next day it could be bad, and it just happens.
That's why they're called personal hells, because we each have our own.
Exactly.
Hell,
we
that we're
have
going
similar takes on that, but they're never the exact same.
In this documentary, there's a clip where she's just saying, she's like, I don't want any of this anymore. I give up. I don't want it. I don't want any of it. I'm not happy. And it was so, and I knew before watching this how, like, I was like, people who seem extremely happy aren't actually that happy. But actually seeing how miserable somebody with that amount of success was, it's the best feeling to not make you feel alone for those who feel like they are alone.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way that I can describe that situation, because again, extremely successful, and nobody knew what was going on behind the scenes. And when you see it, it's just like
it makes them more human to you.
And it's so eye-opening. So I highly recommend it. But either way, things will be okay. It's okay to be, especially a man, and talk about your feelings and what you're going through, your hardships and all that stuff. The old 90s way of doing things, up until early, like late 2000s.
Holding it in and not say a thing.
Holding it and not say a thing. Not a thing. If you watch Fresh to Death,
you can do it for a little bit, but it's always going to come back.
Just know the longer you wait, the worse is. Think of an item. The longer you lift it up, the worse it's gonna get destroyed when it comes all the way down. Right? That was good.
Yeah,
well, think about it. Think about it. If you're lifting a bowling ball on top,
don't try to explain it. Don't mansplain it to me, okay? Are you trying? Are you high?
But yeah, just know that the longer something is up in the air,
Why did you clap?
I don't know, but the longer something is up, the higher it goes, the more damage it'll do when it falls.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
No, that doesn't really apply to
Ninja Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But yeah, so
Heroes in a half shell.
I forgot how it goes.
Fucking A, bro! You had one job.
Bam, bam.
Heroes in a half shell. Turtle power!
Turtle power. That's what I said. Slow it down. Watch the VOD. Speaking of VODs, and Mr. Chad here, I want to talk about the Nick Mercs situation.
Why is that Thai VODs in there?
Huh?
That's a good question. Nothing. Continue.
Video on demand.
Sir, please, you need to put your mansplaining, you put it back in your pocket.
Well, you need to put your stupidity and take it and leave it outside.
What does VODs have to do with Nick Mercs?
Because he's a streamer. And well, guess what? We're at the transition moment now. We're on the topic.
Now we are. This is the transition moment because we just realized how dumb your transition was.
No, you realized how dumb you thought it was.
And everyone's else is like, what does VODs have to do with Nick Mercs? This person on the other side's like, high five.
Fuck off.
High five to that person.
You and that person you just high five
their screen right now.
If you just high five Fractal, cool. Block me.
Okay, that's rude.
Just kidding. Yeah, that was a lot. Okay.
Don't worry about him, guys. We'll handle him next time. Don't worry.
He's a mansplainer. Leave him alone.
We'll shine his head to try and feel better.
But yeah, it was extreme, and this is something because we kind of
wait. Before we get into it, explain the premise of what happened for those of you guys that don't know.
For those of you guys who don't know, who aren't in Twitter as much as most people or a lot of people, there was it was a school meeting type thing going on.
So
I think you might know.
I don't know what the video 100% was about, but it had a generalized idea of parents were getting mad that their students they were like fighting outside of the school because their students were being taught on
their children
the first day of June, which is Pride Month. They were being taught more on the aspects of pride and the LGBTQ community and things like that. And the parents weren't happy about it. So the parents were fighting outside, and they
Oh,
got into this big scuffle and all this stuff.
before we
Go
move
ahead.
any further, I just want to put out a disclaimer. We are not discriminating against anybody. We are not hating on anybody. We just, uh, I believe that Nick Mercs opened up a door that needed to be open. This is us having an open conversation about this, open to explore ideas and explore to change those ideas. Nothing negative is being spoken about here, but we also feel like we have a responsibility to talk about this when we have the platform to do it.
Yeah, and
So,
and just know if there's anyone out there that hears something that we are saying that like acronym wise or whatever it is, just you're more than welcome to correct us in the comments. Just be like, hey,
yes.
this time you said this, because I don't know everything about pride and what goes on with their community and things like that. So I may be wrong on some of the things I'm gonna say, and that's okay. That's okay with being wrong. I'm telling you now I might be wrong because
No.
it happens.
There's a 98%
But
chance.
yeah, so though again with this video, I don't know the full details of it, but I did get a gist of it. I just know what was said. Um,
It was
that
the parents who didn't want their kids to learn that in a school setting were
mhm,
protesting against that. And so you had
exactly.
the LGBT community and the parents of the kids who didn't want their kids to be taught that in school. They eventually started throwing punches.
Hmm.
And that's
And
that's
then
that's what was on the video.
yes, and then if I'm not mistaken, Nick Merck said, "Leave the kids alone" or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
something along those lines.
Yep.
Leave the kids alone. And then it started going crazy. It started spiraling. Everyone started giving a bunch of backlash on it, and they meaning like everyone on Twitter is kind of what I'm getting at when I say that. Just gonna throw that out there. Everyone got took it as if it was offensive. So it went to an offensive. Everyone was giving him backlash. Everyone was talking shit about him and things like that.
Most
And
people,
and
not
this,
everybody.
well, most people.
Yeah,
And
most
then
people.
Nick had give his kind of like a statement on his stream, and he's like, I don't take it back because that's how I feel. And this is
Yeah.
kind of one of the things that I had a conversation with one of my friends about, and he makes a very good point. He makes a very good point. He talks about how he wants him and his wife to have that discussion with their kids. It's the same concept as and this one I think this is going to be one of those ones where it's going to ruffle some feathers. It's the same concept as like the birds and the bees conversation.
No,
That
I a
having
hundred.
sex.
Here's the thing. I 100% agree with what you said, and I knew that's what you were gonna say. Because if you weren't gonna say that, I
Yeah.
was gonna say it. You
Yeah.
don't have your fucking math preschool teacher give your kid the talk on how
Exactly.
babies are made.
Exactly. Like there, and then that's another one of those things where like there's teachers. I know a teacher, and she had one of the students had asked her about like what is this, and it was like regarding like a part of a female's body, and she's like, that's not my place to tell you. If you want, you can go ahead and ask your parents about it, and have them tell you. And
Great
that's
answer.
that's the response that me personally I would want teachers to have. And again, teachers have their moments where they are okay with teaching them what they need to teach, but at the end of the day, I think in those very hard situations, the fact that it's hard to have the conversation as an adult with other adults, you got to realize how hard it's going to be for a random adult to have that conversation with a random child, because that child may not understand what you're even saying. Therefore, it's going to get misconstrued 10 times, because the kid's like, I
Yeah.
don't know what this is. Or he or she will say something along the lines of like, they'll be like, oh, this is how you have sex and blah blah blah, and it's like, that's not right. Like it's it's just one of those things where, and this goes back to what Nick was saying, is that he would rather have him and his wife explain to their children about what the LGBTQ community is. Even though he won't have as much information, he'll be able to explain it to them in a way that they will understand, because it's his child. It's their child. So they'll be able to get into a more tuned and be able to touch base with them a lot easier than a random stranger. Even though it's your teacher, it's still considered a random stranger to the kids, and they may not feel comfortable with the teacher, or that teacher might scare them or make them feel uncomfortable, and then that's going to make them feel more uncomfortable. So
And the
there's
other
just a
thing,
lot of things that can go along with having it being, wouldn't say taught in school, but if it's going to be taught in school, it should be taught by a
I don't think it should
specific.
be taught in school.
I don't think it should either. I think
Yeah, yeah.
what Nick Mark
I'll
said
throw
is,
that out
I
there.
think
Yeah.
it's 100% like facts. I think it should just stay in house with the family. But like I
Yeah.
said, there's the way the world is that things will get pushed and things will get put out there. And but if it does go into effect where it gets taught in schools, it should be taught by someone that is licensed and trained. Same thing with like mental health and therapists and counselors and things like that. Someone that's trained to talk about those subjects.
But even
And
then, I would say it any conversation outside of the subjects that are taught in school should be had at home, right?
correct. I
And
100% agree with you.
and we might have to edit this part out because what I'm about to say could potentially ruffle a lot of feathers. So there's gonna either way. If you guys see this, we decided to put it on there. If you don't, we didn't. But think about it this way. I'm somebody who has been around a lot of communities, a lot of races, a lot of people of all walks of earth, right? All genders, all pronouns, all everything. And you don't have a white person teach a black kid the struggles that are being an African American person in this country, or a person of color for that matter. It's one of those things where you would want your parents to teach you because, well, do we keep that on there or not?
I don't see why not. I don't see it being a problem.
I
I
don't
don't
see it
see it
being a
being a
problem.
problem, but it's just one of those things where
This is the-
it's,
but
it's a
that's
little,
the-
it's a little, but that's the thing. It's a little factual and it's a little bland at the same
Well,
time.
Think about it this way: it's like they're your kids, right? Like you make the decisions for them, so you decide how you want to teach those kids.
Yeah, it's just
Obviously,
it's
we would
raising
expect
kids.
parents to have common sense, and this is not going to happen every time. There's a lot of racist parents out there. There's a lot of sexist parents out there. There's nothing you can do about that. But trying to teach those things at school, man, it's just like you don't know. Like the teacher is either really old, so their ideas are going to be different, or really young, and they're not going to know how to have these conversations with them, right?
Yep.
So,
Agreed.
if say for example, little Timmy goes to period 5, right, and it's this elderly teacher, and they decide that they have the right to give the kids in that class the speech about what the LGBT community is, what racism is, whatever, it doesn't matter, and then he goes on to the next period, and they mention that to their 20-something-year-old, fresh out of college, still has over $200,000 in school debt teacher. They're not gonna know what the fuck to do. They're kids themselves. You can't have those people be teaching your children certain things that are so sensitive.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like this I feel like will always be a touchy subject for many reasons. There's many reasons as to why it's still going to be a touchy subject, because you got to think like not everyone. I mean, I was raised great. I love the way I was raised. There's a lot of things that I disliked about how I was raised and things like that, and there's a lot of things that I liked about how I was raised. There's a lot of people that I've been around that are I have friends that are gay. I have friends that are I actually know one person. They're not my friend, but I work with them. That's trans, and that's okay, and it doesn't bother me. It really doesn't bother me at all. I think whatever anyone does for themselves to personally make themselves happy makes me happy for them. So when it comes down to it, I just feel like some people will never grasp that concept, and that goes for the parents. The parents nowadays won't grasp that concept of, in a sense, just leave them alone and let them be. Like, let them do their thing. Let them be human. Let them be themselves. And
Just be respectful.
yeah, and it's like, but the one thing that has always been an issue, and I think this is one of those things that is always going to be an issue, is having the conversation, the hard conversation of what pronouns to use. And I get it. I totally understand it. Like, if you're going through a transition and you're going from male to female or female to male, whatever the case, whatever you're doing, Um, it's a two-way street. And this is something that I've always wanted to really voice, and I've never really had a chance to, but this is the best time to do it. It's a two-way street. Um, if I walked up to somebody and I visually couldn't tell that they were going through a transition, and I had a conversation with them, and I said something like, "Oh, ma'am, do you need help?" And they get mad at me, and they're like, "I'm a sir. You can't talk to me like that." Like I said, two-way street. I didn't know that you were going through something. I didn't know you were going through a transition. This goes the same thing with mental health. I didn't know you just had a parent die. I didn't know any of that. But if I would have known, I would have been way more understanding about what was happening. And this is kind of one of those things that if you are going through something transition wise, know that not everyone's going to notice. Not everyone's going to know. And this goes for the people that are saying something to someone that's going through something in a transition. Be respectful. At the end of the day, be respectful on both sides. Mm-hmm. Because you don't know what they're going through. They don't know what you're going through. And if they say something wrong, they give you a wrong pronoun, like just let them know, be like, "Hey, I'm not being disrespectful, and I know you weren't being disrespectful, but I go as him. I go as him, and I just want to let you know that." And my pronouns I'm not he, obviously, I'm not telling you how to go about your daily life, but I'm also saying that you just have to realize that people don't know what's going on with you. And that's just kind of one of those things that I've always wanted to say. I've always wanted to voice, because it's uncomfortable for me. And as a man, like as I'm a man, that's me. That's what I go by. Like females, I love females, but what I go by, that's what I go by. And I feel uncomfortable if I make that mistake, and I've done it before. And I've been there. I've been in that situation where I was like, "Ma'am, sorry, you can't come in," or "Ma'am, excuse me," or I'm a respectful person. I usually say yes, ma'am, yes, sir. Always do, always will. That's just how I am. And I've done it one time, and they've got offended, and they started yelling at me, and I'm like, and you're at that point, you're like, "It's not my fault. I'm sorry. Like, I apologize. I didn't mean to hurt you, but like." And then at the end of the day, it hurts your soul. It hurt my soul. And that's kind of one of those things that's why it's hard to address people. And then now you're sitting around tiptoeing around everyone because you don't know anymore.
And I don't know if you've experienced both of these, but I've experienced both where somebody was called by the wrong pronouns and they got complete 180, almost like down to fucking throwing punches, to...
I've seen it.
Sorry, my pronouns are this. My pronouns are this and that, or my pronouns are X, Y, Z, whatever they are.
Yeah.
And I can see why there's such a divide in a lot of these conversations, because one people are, I think, don't have the balls to say these things anymore. And that's really what I want to break through with this, because of what Nick Mercs allowed us to do, which is it's okay to have an opinion, You could think that, that fucking Spider-Man is the greatest fucking superhero ever. And I could say, it's Iron Man, bro. What are you talking about? Now, we can go about it two ways. We can either start yelling at each other, or we can say, you're entitled to your opinion. Disagree. I'm entitled to my opinion. It's that simple, To you, this is the best superhero. To me, this is the best one. And that's what it comes down to. If somebody has the ability to just educate somebody else instead of completely flipping the switch, I promise you, your messages are gonna get through a lot better. And this goes for anything. I'm not just talking about this goes for everything.
That's kind of that's why I wanted to tie it in with the mental health stuff. Like, you have to realize you have to be, and this comes down to, like, this kind of full circles it. End of the day, the whole premise of all of this is respect. You have to give respect to people, like, no matter what, even if they're being a fucking flying see you next Tuesday. Like, you have to give people respect, because that person could have just lost the love of their life, or their mom, or their dog. Oh my god, I just watched this video.
Stop. No, we're not talking about fucking dying animals. Fuck off. No, I have a bunny upstairs, bro.
Bro, it is. I went and I laid on the floor and hugged my dog for fucking 20 minutes, dude. I was bawling. Oh, here he goes with the picture. Fucking weirdo. You look. God, you're hairy.
Bro, what are you talking about? I'm here. That's her with a cowboy hat on. Cowgirl
Oh,
hat.
we can see it. We can see it.
Anyway.
But end of the day, guys, it's a respect thing. Give everyone respect. Love
Yeah.
each other. Literally, peace and love. That's the best way to put it. And Nick said it. He's like he's sorry if he offended anyone. He apologized for offending anyone. He didn't mean to, but he stands by his word. He stands by what he says.
Did you
and
watch the?
I stand by it too, because what he said nothing wrong.
Did you watch
He was more worried
the
about the
apology
kids.
video?
On YouTube,
Like the
I
full
mean
thing?
on
Yeah.
Twitch.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw the full thing.
It,
but I
wasn't
did
that long. It was
see-
probably like a minute or two long. But
Yeah, was that when he was talking about, like, he's like, I'm not gonna apologize. I stand
Yeah,
by my
yeah,
word.
that one.
Yeah, I did see that one.
it was crazy because Brett Cooper made a video about it, right? And she pointed out that out of like all of these YouTubers who apologized because they said something wrong or did something wrong, his felt genuine and
Well, because he didn't mean to
respectful.
do anything.
Right, he didn't mean to do it. And what he was just trying to say is like, I would rather teach my kids those things at home. It's that simple. And then Call of Duty decided to fucking get rid of his bundle, which like what a PR
that- okay.
fucking disaster that was.
Yeah,
dude.
Call of Duty fucked themselves with that.
Oh,
because
big time.
and it's because they didn't gather enough information. They just heard people talking shit, and they didn't get the whole fucking conversation, anything, and they just acted on it. And I think they dropped the fucking ball. And I want to say something too, is I'm extremely proud of Tim the Tatman.
Oh yeah, me
Because
too.
I am 100% proud of him, because one, I don't know if I'm assuming obviously he's going to be losing profits on the skins because no one's buying them anymore.
Yeah.
And that goes for both of them.
I don't think he needs
So-
the money though.
Not even that. It's a matter of you stand by your in this case your brothers. You stand by your brother
Yeah.
on this one, but if Tim saw him do something that was completely fucked up, guaranteed he's on the phone with him that next day having a conversation like he was. He said he called him that night, and he was talking to him to kind of see what was going on and how he was doing mentally. But that shows you how much something like that, when you don't mean to do it, really affects you. And that's what he's going through, is the same concept that I went through when I said that I called someone a ma'am instead of a sir. Like, you don't know. And that's the part that sucks, is it hurts you more because you, as a genuine person, I'm a genuine person. I'm very, like, I know I talk a lot of shit and I say a lot of things, but I have
Yeah,
a
he does.
huge fucking heart, and I care about a lot of people. And to see someone hurt because of what I said is probably the shittiest thing you can feel. And I know that he felt the same way, because in his eyes, obviously, in a lot of eyes, he didn't do anything wrong. He was just voicing his opinion, and that's okay.
And he was
That's what this
basically
world
saying,
is. Like,
protect the
was-
children. Like
Yeah,
protect, like
it
it's
had-
like
the parents were sitting there fighting, and the kids were just there watching it. It's just, those are the
it's a
things we don't wanna
traumatizing
see.
event on its own for the
Oh, yeah.
kids.
We
You
just
know?
don't want to see it. We don't want to see. Excuse me. We don't want to see things happen to the kids like that, and it's unsettling. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, I stand by Nick. I think Nick handled it very well.
I think so
I
as
also
well.
stand by the LGBTQ community. Like I said, I have a lot of friends that are gay, or that they're going down their roads on their own. I have an uncle that's fucking trans, or not trans. He's bi. I have an uncle that's bi. He's the fucking coolest person I've ever met. I honestly have more conversations with him than anyone in my family, and the reason why is because I'm more calm with him. Like, I see him for him. I don't see him for what his pronouns are. I see him for my uncle, and that's the same thing with everyone else. I see them for a human. I don't see them for anything other than that.
It's funny you say that because I have said this so many times to so many people, and I actually prefer to be surrounded by gay people
I can understand that.
because they are more fun and they're genuine. They don't
It's
like
because, you know why?
gay
It's 'cause-
people have
okay,
like they don't give a
It's
fuck.
because they love themselves. That's why.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
I envy that, because if someone has the balls, or female parts, whatever you guys want to say, if they have the balls
The
to say, hey,
cojones.
I'm female, I go by female, I'm happy with that. That's what I do. That's who I am. If they have the balls to do that, they love the fuck out of
Oh
themselves, and
yeah,
I'm envy of that.
and
And
they're just
that's
so
what makes it
fun
so
to be
happy.
around.
Don't get me wrong, they're not happy all the time because they go through like everyone else. They go through the issues just like we talked about earlier. They go through their own set of problems, but it's they end of the day they're happy with who they are. They're happy with the
Yeah,
decision they made. And
I've met
I
so
mean,
many.
I feel like more people would be happier. I think you're gonna say this. More people would be happier if they loved themselves and they had the ability to love themselves.
No, I've met so many. I've met again so many like people from the LGBTQ community and so many people who are straight, right? That's like the one way I put it, right?
Yeah.
And whenever I meet somebody who's straight, right? I feel like I have to work to be friends with them in a way, right? Or that I can't be my full self right away. Every
Okay.
single gay person that I have met, I immediately feel like we're friends already. Like we just looked at each other
It's the
and we're already
energy.
friends. It's phenomenal. I
It's
love
the
it. I love
energy.
it. Like I wish, we had more gay people on the team.
Okay. Before we end this, I want to give a little story, and this is in a sense on um, this is a bad experience I've had with I guess anyone in the LGBTQ community. This happened several years ago to me, and I bring this up because there are moments where, and that goes for everyone, some people are good and some people are bad, and it's literally good or bad. There's no in between. It's good or bad. And I was out with a girl I was dating. I was out with a girl I was dating, and her friend's brother was gay, and he wanted to go to like a gay bar, and whatever. It's like a gay bar. There's literally like everyone was there, flags everywhere. It was great. It looked beautiful. So then they were like, we want to go, and I was like, I don't know if I feel comfortable going. I was like, I don't know if I feel comfortable going. I'm not sure. And this was obviously like, I wasn't sure. I've never been, so I don't know how it was going to be. And she convinced me to go. I was like, you know what? I'm going to support you and I'm going to support him because he's our friend, and I'm supporting you because you're my girlfriend. So we'll go. We ended up going, and 5 minutes into the as soon as we go into the bar, fucking cracking ass music. Yo, everyone was lit in there, bro. It was
To the
so
windows,
fucking dude,
to
I
the
swear
wall.
that was one of the songs that was on. Bro, it was lit in there. Everyone was having a great time. It was awesome. I love the vibe. Like everyone was just dancing. It was great. And then I start walking. We're like walking upstairs in the upstairs area, and out of nowhere, I see some dude like make eye contact with me, and I was like, okay, I feel uncomfortable. I looked away. The guy came up to me. I don't tell anyone this story, by the way. This is something I don't talk about. This is something I don't talk about because it
Raw
made me
and
so,
uncut.
it literally it made me so uncomfortable that it still to this day makes me uncomfortable. The guy walks up to me and grabs my balls, like grabs my entire fucking junk, right? And then like walks away, and I'm sitting there and I'm like,
That is
I
not
don't
what
know
I
what.
thought you were gonna say. I thought
Okay,
he was
okay,
gonna.
so
I thought he was about to slap your ass.
no, okay, so, and I'm confused. I don't know what just happened. I just know my fucking dick just got grabbed, and I'm freaking out. I'm scared, and in my head, my first reaction and this goes for anyone. If a fucking dude came up to me and grabbed my dick or like slapped me or punched me or did anything like that, I'm turning and swinging.
I'm
But in
smacking
this
your ass the
case,
first time I see you. By the way.
but the thing is that the first thing that happens is that at this point, I turn and hit him. It becomes a hate crime. You see what I'm saying? And that's the problem when I say there's good and bad. Is I want to be able to defend myself if someone of that stature comes at me and approaches me very aggressively. Just like that. But I also don't want to have the repercussions that Nick is having right now. Because I would be just defending myself because this person attacked me and came into my bubble without without me saying it was okay. But if I hit him, I'm in a gay bar as it is. You should, and it's like one of those things like you're in a gay bar, like you should expect something like that to happen. No, I shouldn't. I shouldn't expect to go in there and get fucking physically violated. I shouldn't expect that.
No one should
And,
expect anything.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the part that like it kind of sucks. I'm not saying that like everyone's like that, but those are the moments where you have to think about the straight side of it. The person that is straight, the person that does respect the people that are there and that doesn't want to be touched. You know how many times I've had people come up to me that were some dude come up to me and be like, "You're fucking sexy." I'm like, "I'm walking away from you." Like,
Thank
and
you.
it's like, what do you do
I'd
about
be
that?
like,
Like, I'll
thank
take the
you.
compliment. No, I've done it. I'm like, I thank you, but I'm walking away. But it's just one of those things that makes you feel very uncomfortable. And in that scenario, I told them, I was like, look, like, I respect you, bro, but I'm getting the fuck out of here. I was like, I can't do this. I feel very uncomfortable. Like, my heart's racing. I start going into like a panic. And I've never felt like that. I'm usually a man that can handle everything. And this goes with just any situation, not just sexually, just any situation. I'm pretty good at everything. And I just couldn't handle it. I was freaking out. I was panicking. And I was just like, I gotta go.
What'd you
So,
do?
like I said,
Just
it's
left?
just, I just left. I just left. I left her there and I left. And because she was like, no, just stay, just stay. I was like, no, you got to respect me. I respected you guys. I got violated within the first 5 minutes of this fucking journey and I'm leaving.
Dragged yourself because he liked it.
Stupid. But it's just one of those things. Like, basically what I'm trying to say is that you have to understand both sides of the stories.
It's a two-way street.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's a two-way street because, and this goes back to the respect thing. Have respect for each other. If that dude had enough respect to come up to me like, hey, you're hella cute, things like that, I'd be like, oh, sorry, dude, like, I'm straight, like, appreciate it. I would respect that way more, other than someone just coming up and grabbing my junk.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
No, absolutely.
I wouldn't do that to a female, 100%. I love females, but I would
you
not
do
go
that,
up
you're
to
catching
any
a
female.
charge right away.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is that the person did it to me, but you're in a gay bar. Like, you should
Right.
expect it. And it's like, no,
And
I
that,
shouldn't
and
expect
again,
it.
we're not trying to like. At least I don't think, right? Like,
We're not trying
correct
to
me if I'm
attack,
wrong with this.
like,
No. We're not trying to justify like behavior towards people of the LGBTQ community or anything like that. But we're just also saying that like we also experience it, and the reason why we're talking about this, again, it's a very heavy subject. It's a very sensitive subject to talk about, but it's also one of those things where, like, to be honest with you, those things is some one of the things that are bringing my mental health down to the fucking gutter, you know, because I can no longer express myself anymore. I can no longer say hi to people without the fear of being attacked, you know.
attacked or just hurting them in general.
And and again, it's like, I'm not trying to say, like, not trying to minimize all the troubles and tribulations that people of other communities go through, but it's also one of those things where, like, nobody who is on the other side of that ever speaks their truth, or their mind, I guess you can say. And that's what I'm doing here. It's like all of this shit really just brings me down to the fucking gutter. So, like, from this point on, I'm not gonna be afraid to talk about anything anymore, because I know at the end of the day, I want everybody to respect each other, you know, show people the respect you want to be shown back to you, you know, treat
Yeah.
others the way you want to be treated and all of that stuff. But if I don't talk about it, one, I don't know what's gonna happen, and that scares the shit out of me. So I'm doing this for my own mental health benefits at this point.
Yeah.
And two, because there's a lot of other people who I know for a fact feel this way, but don't have the balls to say them because of the fear of being canceled. And I'm extremely grateful at the fact that Nick Mercs did what he did, because it's almost like, in a sense, I needed him to be like, yo, like, speak your fucking mind. You know,
But
it's okay.
Let's make this clear real quick. There are plenty of people out there that have spoken up. Plenty of people that have spoken up, but this hits us a little harder because this is someone that we've always looked up to. This is someone that is in our community, our gaming community, our culture. So this is the reason why it's being brought up. This is the reason why it's being talked about. And we've had these thoughts all the time. We've had these conversations. We've talked about it. We've had all of this. But within Pride Month, having this happen, this is the best time to have a conversation with it. Everyone is open right now.
Absolutely.
And it's just one of those things that we just want to feel, we want to understand both sides at the end of the day. We want to understand both sides, and the last thing I kind of want to touch on before we get out of here, and this is something that I talked about a little while ago, is that you have to understand it's not like male and female anymore, because male and female, you can clearly tell who's a male and who's a female. It's very, very, very easy to tell. There's some cases where it's not because they have a hat on or whatever, but it's very easy to tell male and
Facial
female.
hair.
And not necessarily. That's not necessarily, because there are some females that have PCOS and that also grow more hair than normal because of the
Okay, I'm
chemical
talking about something
imbalance
like
in their
this.
body. No, it does like that. Like females will grow up because there's a chemical imbalance in what they in their body. That's a whole nother story. But
It's the bearded lady.
But that's not it. So it's a matter of, if someone does come up to you, and this goes for if you're a straight person or if you're not. You have to understand that if someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, I think you're cute," and let's say for me, instance, it's a guy that comes up, I appreciate it, dude, but I'm not gay. I appreciate it. I'm not gay, and and just walk away. That's it. You don't have to do anything. Be polite about it, and it goes for both ways. Someone comes up to you and be like, "Ma'am, can you do this for me?" Or, "Ma'am, I need this from you," and it's like you don't snap on them. The same way that I didn't snap on you when someone came up to me and said, "I think you're cute. Let me take you on a date." It's the same concept. Or someone coming up to me saying I'm pretty. It's the same concept. You don't be disrespectful. And this goes for both sides. That's what I want to end on. Just at the end of the day, remember, this is about respect, and this goes for everyone. If you want respect, you got to put up respect. End of the day, that's what it is.
And I highly want to also encourage people to ask questions and educate others. Ask questions.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody from the LGBTQ community would be mad if you just, whether you know them or not, if you approach them and say, "Hey, can you educate me on this?" Because I've had to do that before. A friend of mine, love her to death. Her name's Olivia. Olivia, if you're watching this, shout out. I still haven't found the penis on the bookmark. It's a whole thing.
Okay.
We'll talk about that in the next podcast episode. There were times where I would go to her and say, "What is the definition of this? What does this mean? What is this?" Right?
I've done the same thing.
And if I'm going to her because she is, they are somebody who corrected me multiple times, because again, before I knew that they were they, them, right? It was always she, her to me, right? And even after they told me that, like, I would still make the common mistakes that I'm making right now, but I would immediately correct myself.
Thing to fix.
Yeah, and I would immediately correct myself, and she'd be like, "That's okay, you're trying." So basically what I'm saying is, as long as you keep trying, keep everybody, just stay open-minded. A closed mind is the mind of an idiot, and if you don't believe that's true, open it.
Basically just said, if you don't believe it's true, you're an idiot.
Brought to you by NF. So yeah,
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
Make sure you have an open mind, respect people, show love, peace and love all the time, and just know that people are going through
and
things.
be educated. Educate
Always
and be
research.
educated.
At the end of the day, research is the biggest friend, but just don't believe it all.
Yeah,
Especially on the internet.
don't go to Reddit for your research.
Yeah, not at all.
Well, actually, Reddit might actually not be Reddit anymore. But that's the conversation for another day, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Wow. Thank you for your
Rewind
welcome.
it. Thank you for your welcome.
Oh
It's
my
like when I
God.
it's like when I
Thank
drop
you
people
guys
off.
for tuning in with us on the TNL takeover. It's takeover, right? We doing the takeover? It's not TNL.
Yeah, we're doing the
is it?
takeover. I sometimes tell people when I drop them
No,
off at
it's
the airport, I'm like,
Talkshow.
they're like, "You're welcome." I'm like, "You're all set. Have a safe flight." And they go, "Thanks, you too." And I just look at them and I'm like, I did that on purpose. Every time I'm like,
Oh, dude,
I
it
did
happens all the time.
I did that on purpose. Thanks. Enjoy the movie. You too.
Yeah.
I went to a concert one time and the guy goes, "There you go, enjoy the concert." I'm like, "Thanks, you too."
I mean, he's gonna enjoy the concert too. He
I
can see it
doubt it.
later.
Anyway,
All right, guys. Thank you guys again for tuning in with us in the latest edition of the TNL Talk Show. If you guys have any questions, any concerns, any comments, definitely put them in the links. Put them right down below. Throw us out there.
Yes.
Ask us questions, whatever you guys want. Tell us what you think. Tell us how you felt about the subjects we talked about today. And if there's anything else you guys want to talk about in the future, put them down below. We're reading all the comments. And
Yes.
much love to you guys. We appreciate you guys staying by and hanging out with us. Yeah, that's
Yes,
all for
sir.
me.
And we will also be picking topics from the comments that we see so that we have something to talk about that you guys want us to talk about. You're going to get raw and unfiltered here, but in a very respectful way. Again, thank you for joining us. If you were by any way, shape, or form offended, just know that we did not mean it to come off that way. Again, we love everybody here, different colors, races, doesn't matter what it is. We love people no matter what they are or who they are. Until the next one,
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
brush your teeth every morning. Brush your teeth every morning.
No. We'll do my sign off instead.
Have
Ladies
you
and
ever
gentlemen,
seen
before you
that?
guys go
Have
to
you
bed,
ever seen the
or when you wake up in the morning, tell someone that you love them. I'll see you guys later. Hope you guys have a good rest of your night. And again, thank you guys for tuning in to the talk show. See you guys. Peace.
Wake up, wash your ass, brush your teeth. Bye.
Why?